gonna tell y'all my coming out story. And this is just how I experienced it. I don't know how the people around me saw the situation, but this is how I seen it. All right. It is story time. So look, for my story time, I'm gonna get me a little drink. I'm not driving. I'm at home. Don't worry about me. Little Jack Daniel's honey. And I mixed it with this fruit punch mix from Blue Diner. It tastes pretty good. So I am gonna tell y'all my coming out story. And this is just how I experienced it. I don't know how the people around me saw the situation, but this is how I see the situation. So boom, I would say, honestly, I already knew I was gay in elementary school. It was an instance where one day, like, me and my cousin was taking a bath together. So y'all know it was jits, like, elementary school. And we was like, I'm gay. We knew what gay was. And then my cousin was like, I'm gay. And it was like, bet you're not gonna tell auntie such and such. And I was like, I bet I will. So I had to be no more than maybe like 6. You know what I'm saying? Maybe even younger than that, to be honest. Probably 4. So anyway, I called my auntie in the bathroom, and she was like, what's up? I was like, auntie, I'm gay. And she was like, you mean gay? Or do you mean happy? Because gay also means happy. She was like, do you mean gay? Or do you mean like happy gay? And I thought about it, and I was like, I got scared, bro. I was like, happy. She was like, oh, okay. And she left. You feel what I'm saying? That's the first time I came out. So from that experience, I was like, oh, being the other gay is not what I should want. So, you know, ever since then, when I started to get around like 5th grade, 6th grade, around that time, I started to understand that most people really weren't fucking with this shit. So I kept that shit close to me, but I was always a tomboy. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never really played with girls like that. And even in some of my childhood pictures, like, you will see that my grandma used to dress me and my little brother up in the same outfits, like matching outfits. Like, I would want that type of stuff. As a matter of fact, the first concert I went to was like a Lil Romeo concert. My nigga, I went to the concert looking like Lil Romeo, in a jean outfit with the Lil Romeo t-shirt, the braids. I had a bandana, like all that shit. Well, I don't know if I had a bandana, but you get what I'm saying. Like, I really went, and my grandma allowed me to be myself and do these things. So around maybe like, I think I was like 15, I had dated my first girl, right? But nobody knew, but very select amount of people. Like, I don't know how to explain it. When I had went, because I was going to Highlands, as a matter of fact, at the time. So by the time I got to Highlands, I had already like failed the 8th grade twice on some fluke shit, to be honest, me being stupid. And now I'm getting into a program to where I can be skipped to my right grade next year, so I can graduate with my class. So I'm 15 in the 8th grade. You feel what I'm saying? So at this point, I really don't give a fuck. Like, I done been through so much stuff, like with my own parents and experiences, that now I'm just like, okay, like, I know I can't really tell nobody around me nothing. So I'm just gonna go ahead and live my life, like, on this side. At least in school, I'm gonna be who I really am in school, because my parents really don't pay attention to me that much in school. And when when I'm home outside, I could be the tomboy, play football. You know what I'm saying? I always had boy best friends, like always. And shit like that. So, boom, I'm talking to the little chick. Me and little chick get kind of serious now. Like, then what happened was, like, she had started staying the night, right? And I like pretend she was my best friend. So I'd be like, hey ma, can come over this weekend? Come over this week. Like, especially during the summertime, it was like that little girl stayed with us, bro. That jump, I'm being slick too. I ain't gonna lie. I was playing it, boy, being slick. So she used to come, stay the night. I would not suggest anybody do that and disrespect their parents' house like that. I'm gonna put that disclaimer on the night. But yeah, man, she used to come stay the night. And then, like, she had, like, this little summer job. She'll go to a little summer job during the weekend or whatever. After that, her mom would come drop off at my house. You feel me? So, boom. My mama started being like, hey, when y'all in that room, don't lock that door. For real. But, you know what I did? Shit, I still locked that damn door. So yeah, man, and then my mama had a friend who came and stayed with us, and she, like, the way my room was set up, my room wall was right there by the living room, so whatever I did in my room, you could really hear it. You feel me? I think her friend might have approached me at some point and maybe asked me or whatever, and I don't know if I kind of told Miss Amber, cause Miss Amber at one point was also, like, either bisexual, like, dated a woman, you feel what I'm saying? And then, like, my mama best friend had dated women, and then it was a guy named Trey who was a drag queen. He used to babysit me and my brother. So it was very conflicting to me to see my mama hanging around all these gay people. But when I was trying to low-key tell her how I was feeling, because I wrote letters to my mother, like, asked her questions while watching Maury, like, when they little badass kids was on TV. So when I would do this, she would speak against it. In our everyday lives, outside of her hanging out with those people who are gay, like, there'll be instances where maybe it would have come up in conversation, and she spoke against it then too. So it was just, like, very confusing. If you don't like these people or like this so much, why are these people your best friends? Why do you trust those people with your children? Anyway, so I wasn't comfortable with telling my mama shit. And then, like, the little girl cheated on me, bruh. It was crazy. And we ended up getting into it that day, Monday. And unfortunately, I put my hands on him. And it's a heated argument. So I know, and that's, as children, not even thinking that people paying attention to us and they can hear us. We literally arguing in my room. And that's when my mama kind of figured it out. Because she was like, what's going on? And I'm like, she mad because her boyfriend just broke up with her. She was like, well, why you da-da-da-da? And I'm like, you doing too much. I'm trying to go see about my bitch and you asking me questions. You feel me? But I would never admit anything to her. Because I thought, again, shit, if I did, my mama gonna look at me like this. So now I'm in high school. And I'm dating, and I still ain't really told my mama. But I wasn't talking to nobody here. It was like me and my cousin used to get on chat rooms. You feel what I'm saying? So I was talking to the chick from the chat, and my mama came in the room one day. It's crazy because that same girl who heard that conversation, me and her ended up actually meeting in person, and she lived out of state. We lived together for a little while, like, for real. But anyway, so my mama came in the room. She talking about I had Amber Sun on my chest, as a matter of fact. I had just, like, put him down for a nap, and she come in and she was like, the Nene and them at Jazz and Nails said that you was gay, And I told them that's not true. Is that true? And I'm like, you gonna wait until the people from Jazzy Nails, your coworkers, come to tell you that I'm gay to ask me if that's how I feel? When all these years I've been trying to tell you this, you didn't want to listen to me because you felt like if you ignored it, it would go away and it would just be a phase. And now that you see this is not a phase, now you're worried. You feel what I'm saying? So by this time, as a matter of fact, let me back up. Me end up officially breaking up when I entered A. Philip Randolph. Oh dang, I wasn't supposed to say the girl name. Okay, so me and the girl broke up right when I was going into high school. Cause she did the shit with the dude. So at this time, I'm trying to learn how to deal with the breakup. I have nobody to talk to because nobody knows I talk to this girl except for a handful of people, literally only a handful of people that know I talk to this young lady, and they're all children. I have no adult to go to ask them, how do I handle this situation? This is how I'm feeling. All I know is I feel distraught. I don't want this girl to go nowhere. I feel like I have to do anything to get this feeling back. I was doing things that were not healthy. I was developing toxic habits because I had no guidance. So one day my dad seen that I was upset, and then he was like, well, what's wrong? And then I finally, we was in his car, bruh, and it's really weird that I'm having this moment with my dad because me and my dad really we had a very rocky relationship ourselves, but it was always like I could really sit down and talk to my dad about stuff. Even though he may not have always been there physically for me or emotionally sometimes available for me, and he had very abusive and toxic habits and traits himself. And I was on the receiving end of some of those things. If it was something serious or I really needed him, he would be there. So in this time, I realized he was going to let me be me and say whatever I had to say. So I was like, me not just friends, we more than that. He was like, okay, what you mean? I was like, well, just like boyfriend and girlfriend, we talk like that. Like, that's my girlfriend. Or that was my girlfriend, but we just broke up. And he was like, well, I already knew that. I was like, you already knew what? And he was like, I already knew you was gay. And I kind of figured out your girlfriend. I was like, well, nigga, why you ain't tell me? Like, all these years of me trying to figure out, like, I don't know how to explain it, bro. Is this me? Like, is God gonna change me? All these prayers I used to pray all the time for me not to be gay. Like, I used to sit in the mirror for minutes at a time, like 30 minutes at a time, sometimes just staring myself in the mirror and just looking at myself like, this is me, like, this is who I am. Like, God, I don't want to be gay. Why am I gay? Like, can you take this away? It just never happened, bro. It just never happened. So at that time, I guess I was just at a point where I started just kind of accepting who I was. And it made it easier for me to be vulnerable with my dad because he had already accepted who I was. And then me and him had a very open and candid conversation about how I was feeling in that moment. And he kind of helped me through that breakup. He did. So by the time that my mother is asking me these questions, I'm 2 females gone. I'm like 2-3 females in now. You know what I'm saying? So she was like, are you gay? Is that true? And I lied. I was like, I'm not gay. I'm bisexual. And she was like, why you ain't tell me? Why you ain't tell nobody? You could have told me. Like, she's kind of started snapping on me. And one thing my mama hates is being left out. I don't know why, but she really hates the feeling of being left out. So I played on it. I was like, well, shoot, you the only one that don't know. Dad know. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I told Dad, oh, did your grandma know? I'm like, no, I didn't tell grandma. Now, the reason I didn't tell my grandma raised me. My grandma already knew what's up. Because remember, she got me and Thomas already dressing in outfits that look alike. You get what I mean? You get what I'm saying? Like, she allows me to be myself. She allows me to pick my own clothes and what I want my style to be like. So I felt like there was no need for me to say anything because she was going to let me say it when I felt comfortable with saying it. My mama went with this shit at all. She was like, oh, so you was that one of your girlfriends? I was like, yes. She was like, what about Kiera? Because I did have a girl best friend named Kiera. And I was like, no, never did anything with Kiera, never looked at Kiera like that. You feel what I'm saying? So now at this point, I'm like, okay, so every female that you see I'm around, now you think I'm talking to them. You feel me? I was like, no, I never talked to her. And then some other chick, she said, I'm like, no, like, so, she was like, well, you had that girl of my house, and you had that girl of your grandma's house. You need to tell your grandma. She got a right to know you had that girl in her house. And da-da-da-da. I was like, no, Ma, I don't want to tell her. I'm not going to tell her right now. I'm not ready for that. And that's not your choice to out me. Like, let me do that on my own. No, if you ain't going to tell her, I will. My mama hopped and marched her happy ass into that kitchen. And she was like, Mama, teacher got something to tell you. And I was like, no, I don't. Mama, please don't do this. And by the time I'm crying because I'm like, damn, bro, like, you just gonna take my experience and make me do some shit. You gonna force me into something that I'm not ready for. You feel what I'm saying? Like, granted, yeah, now I'm 2-3 females in. It wasn't that long. I was still, like, in my junior year of high school. So, it was maybe 6 months, 8 months later. So, I'm still really trying to understand. You get what I'm saying? Like, okay, and now I just had my first breakup. It didn't really go well. And I'm also still figuring out who I am, what I want to be, where do I see myself? You get me? Like, I'm really trying to figure shit out, and you just gonna force me to do something I'm not ready for. And something happened that I did not think was gonna happen. So I was like, please, I'm like dead ass begging. So my mama was like, Mama, you know that was her girlfriend, right? You know teacher like girls. She thinks she like girls, da 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 da. And then I wish I had some glasses. So, because this is exactly what my grandma did. She looked over her glasses. She said, okay, Rhonda, what's your point? I already knew this. And then my dad even set my mama off even more. But let me tell you, at that moment, my grandma Sharon became my best friend, bro. Because me and her never talked about it. You feel what I'm saying? Like, we never had that conversation. But my grandma's so down for me, and my grandma loved me so unconditionally, bro. She was ready to ride, and she rode for me in that moment, and she lied for me. And was like, I already know. You not telling me nothing I don't know. Why you doing this to her? You feel what I'm saying? Like, my grandma really defended me, bro. Oh, I'm trying not to get emotional. That was, man, look. It's been so many times that my grandma that saved my life, bro. So, my mama got mad and she left that night. And me and my grandma had a talk. And I apologized for being disrespectful and having that girl in her house. And I just told my grandma why I didn't tell her. She said she understood. She said she already knew. She was just waiting for me to be comfortable and do that for myself. And she told me she still loved me. And she was always going to be there for me, bruh. I think for the longest time, even now sometimes, I hold a grudge. against my mom because of how she kind of forced her way through my situation and forced me to do something that she forced something on me based on how she was experiencing it and how she felt and what she thought I should do. She didn't care about my mental health. She didn't really think about me as a child in that moment. I don't think that's how I felt. She didn't think about what could happen afterwards. And she recently, I think, apologized about it or for it. But soon after that, I stopped giving a fuck. And I really started living in my truth. I mean, I had a job like 6-8 months later. My senior year of high school, I started dressing how I wanted to. I wore my hair how I wanted to. I spoke and I carried myself how I felt on the inside, and I still do that now. And it's worked for me. I definitely wish I had a different coming out story, and I wish it wasn't as traumatic as it was. But because of that trauma, it does help me with my own children. And it makes me want to listen to them more and understand them more before I try and impose something on them based on my life experiences and what I feel like they should do. Yeah. So that's my coming out story. Thank y'all for letting me do this. Thank you for having this moment with me. Keep pushing, man, because I'm definitely pushing with you.